Ron, it's my pleasure to present this to you. I'm going to read it for the audience. It says, Josh Stein, Governor, reposing special confidence in the integrity, learning, and zeal of Ronnie Heiniger, PhD. I do by these presents confer the Order of the Longleaf Pine and the rank of Ambassador Extraordinary, privileged to enjoy fully all rights guaranteed to members of this exceptional and exalted order, among which is the special privilege of proposing the following North Carolina toast I mentioned. And again, we ain't going to ask you to sing. But this is signed by the Governor, Josh Stein. Ron, very deserved.
Thank you. You think I need to say something?
Just a little bit, don't sing.
Don't sing, okay. Well, first of all, I'm truly humbled. I don't know, when you listed all those names there for the Order of Longleaf Pine, I remember Joe Landino getting this years and years ago, how I thought what a distinguished person would you would have to be able to receive this award. And I'm just humbled that somehow my name's on that list. I certainly don't deserve it, and I certainly am thankful for all of your confidence in the things that I've done. You know, I talked about retirement part thing here. First thing I was surprised at was, you remember me. It's been 6 months since I retired. I thought maybe by this time I'd been forgotten, but you remembered me, and I'm so touched by that. Although I don't try that's a good or bad thing. And then Alan mentioned all these people on whose shoulder I stand, you know. People like Jim Duffy, Mr. Alan York right over there. I remember him on my committee. He actually drove all the way to Plymouth. We had our seminar out there, and it was late at night. We traveled up to Milton Vaughn's farm up by Murfreesboro at about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. And Alan, after visiting with Milton, he drove me all the way back to Raleigh, another 2 hours. And I always thought, boy, there's a guy dedicated to what he does, making sure a candidate gets that kind of introduction. So I was touched by that, but I stand on those shoulders. Bob Patterson, all of those who have gone before, I certainly stand on those shoulders. I mentioned Bill Fike earlier, talking about him. I remember him coming to Eaton one day to pick me up to do an extension meeting up in Elizabeth City. And I get in the truck and he says, "Can you drive?" I said, "Well, sure, Bill, I'd be happy to." He gets in the other seat, pulls out about 5 slide trays and starts sorting through slides. And I'm thinking, Bill, we only got 30 miles. You got a little time here. And he would get up there and he did a presentation that would knock your socks right on off. I mean, he had it home with his head. You're number one. You're number one. And I never forgot that. That's the kind of thing that when you are called to a purpose, and that's what I believe I've been called to here is a purpose, when you find the people who support you and who lead and show you the way in a manner that leads to success. And so all of this, everything else, I really owe to those people, not to me, not to something I did, but what they did in showing the path and showing the way. And then, of course, I need to thank all the farmers and people here who have put up with me over the years when I said that, whether it looks a little shaky or whether I said, go for it, 2024, I said, if we could just get some rain, we'll be all right. Well, it didn't happen. So there's years where it didn't happen, and yet you continue to believe in me, and that's the kind of faith that I think we all need to have, that hope for the future that requires us to keep going. You guys are the best. And I've always said this. I've said this when I traveled to 50 states, just the United States, and even been in Australia. I said, you need to be like those farmers in North Carolina. they come, everything comes against them. Every disease, every insect, every try and hop period. And yet they persevere through that. So you need to learn how they do that so that you guys can do the same. So I don't know, again, I stand here today just thankful for all that everyone has done for me. And just so undeserving for where I am. But just hoping that somehow I did make a little bit of difference some way. You know, that's when I left the farm and my brother took over, yeah, he would blame him. But when I left the farm, one thing I dedicated myself, I want to make a difference to a farmer. I want to make a difference that he can keep going in his operation. And I've told this story before. Mr. Faraday calls me up one time. We did a consultation and talked about what was going well, what wasn't working, and we talked about what changes he might make. And he called me back 2 years later and he says, I just wanted to know you were able to keep me in the farm. That was all I needed. That was the only reward I needed in my whole life, was that one time that he said that I kept him in the farming business. So again, I've spoken too much, but I can't really express what's on my heart, which is just immense gratitude to you. And I want to thank you for all you've done. And I want to be glad that we can meet together again and again and talk about old times and talk about the future to come, in which indeed we all rejoice in the times to come. So thank you again, and God bless you.